Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Patronkast Plays Mortal Kombat 9. The reason we call it Patronkast is because we have a Patreon. You can see these episodes a week early if you subscribe at patreon.com/Netherkast. I'm Razor. Shad's playing the game. Smokeman is with us as well. And we have been, what's the opposite of hype? We have been negative hyping up the
perhaps?
what's coming next. We're finally to the Mortal Kombat 3 part of this this pain train. Before we get into it, last time on this show, we witnessed some claims about the reason for Sindel's death and resurrection. And I know Shad has very strong feelings about that, so I'm going to let him go off.
Okay. Now, the things I feel like talking about right here, Sindel is kind of tangential to them.
Yeah.
The main problem that I have with this game, and its retcons, my biggest problem, and I'm just gonna get it right out of the way right now, is specifically the way that it talks about invasions and what the MK tournament is designed to do. Because there's a cutscene later on in the game where the Elder Gods say, well, actually, the tournament was never meant to prevent invasions. It only prevents mergers. The whole notion that the tournament doesn't prevent invasions, only mergers, is absolute nonsense. MK3 was really explicit about this and very simple. The Attract mode says that the act of resurrecting Sindel gives Shao Kahn the power to step through the dimensional gates and reclaim its queen, thus enabling him to finally seize Earthrealm.
Yeah, so the core concept is Shao Kahn can't travel to Earth. If he could, he'd take it over with his massive amounts of power and sorcery. But he can't get there. Like, if he tries to walk through a portal, he'll bounce off a force field that the Elder Gods put there. And the only way to take that force field down is to unbalance the Furies, to win 10 tournaments. But Sindel, so if you take a dead body, which is an inanimate object, and you sneak it into Earthrealm, and then you bring it back from the dead, and that person happens to be one of the rulers of Outworld, then her husband has the legal right to come get her. Because they're fucking married, and the marriage means something in religion. So it's a loophole that lets him go through a portal. And then now I'm here, and I can use my sorcery to take over. That's the original story.
I want to point out this. Getting through barriers by opening portals was originally a huge fucking deal. It took a lot of effort. We've been very used to seeing people travel every which way across the realms in the 30 years that this series has been going on. But the MK2 comic was really explicit about this. Even if it exists in that kind of weird nebulous early period where Outworld was kind of an astral plane. Shao Kahn isn't the one who opened the portal and sent Shang through. Shang does it after he convinces Kahn to give him a new body powerful enough to do so. And if Shang can do it, obviously Shao Kahn, God Emperor of Outworld, has the power to do it too. But he doesn't, because that's a violation of the rules that the Elder Gods put down.
Yeah. Shang can do whatever he wants because he's just some guy. He's a mortal sorcerer, and as a free roaming sorcerer, his spells are like the Elder Gods can't sense them. It's one of his abilities.
There's more about this that I still want to cover though.
Shao Kahn is an emperor, and the Elder Gods are always watching him like a hawk. Because they know what he's about, and he has all this power and authority, and he has like a status. So he's not allowed to do things, and if he gets caught doing them, they'll fucking spank him.
Shang's actions at the start of MK2 are also done under the banner of challenge, and he says as much. You can open up a portal if you're going to challenge someone. They are not allowed to just send people through whenever they want. Otherwise, logically, they would have been doing it for years.
Yeah. If they could just fucking centaur cottons to kill random people, until everyone on the world is dead and there's nobody left to be in a tournament. Then if they could get away with that, they'd be doing it. The reason they haven't been doing it is because Raiden is supposed to kill everybody who tries that.
Yeah, that's his job.
Yeah.
So, this whole thing is it's an open and shut case as far as I'm concerned. Like,
Well,
MK3's opening is just about, like, Shao Kahn breaks the only rule that matters. So I know that you have your own perspective about why the Elder Gods don't do anything about him. As far as I'm concerned, it's just, he found a legal way through. These are our rules. We can't actually stop him. We can maybe empower you guys to do something about that, but our hands are tied. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, your point of view is that the thing the Elder Gods forbid was him walking through a portal, and since he already has walked through a portal, they let him walk through a portal to go get Sindel. Then that's where it stops.
Yeah, that's the rule.
My point of
Once
view
the barrier
is,
opens, they can't do anything about it.
right. The thing is, I don't like applying the word "can't" to the Elder Gods because, like, these are like what you can and can't do. These are rules that the Elder Gods have put on Raiden because he's an underling. They're the ones making the rules, so they could do whatever the fuck they want. Plus, they're omnipotent. There's no power they don't have.
But I
They
would say
choose.
that they wouldn't break the rules that they put down because they're better than that.
Well, here's the thing. There in the old timeline, there were two good reasons established why they don't really get involved in MK3. The first comes in the 3D era, where they say the Elder Gods try their best to never use their power inside the realms, and they send, that's why they have realm gods, and that's why they have champions. They send other people to do these things for them, because if they use their own power, it might wake up the one being. The second reason, which is specific to the 2D era, is that the Elder Gods do interfere in MK3. They're the ones specifically who protect the souls of the Earth Warriors from being stolen by Kahn. They make everybody immune to Kahn's powers of soul stealing so that they're still alive and can fight back. And the reason they do that, this is the important thing. Mortal Kombat used to be a franchise where thematically the message was all about the potential of the human spirit. The gods have a Star Trek style prime directive that they don't want to interfere in the development of human beings because it's like if you babysit someone, they'll never learn to do something for themselves. And mortals have the potential to be as strong as a god, and you should nurture that potential and let them come into their own. If they fight their own battles and win, which the Elder Gods believe they can win, we believe you could beat Shao Kahn, we're going to give you the chance to try. Because if you succeed, then you'll become something beautiful. You know, they're really into seeing Liu Kang live up to his potential and that kind of thing. And that's not a thing in the franchise anymore. That's just gone.
I mean, I would debate you on if the Elder Gods can intervene and protect the souls of mortals. If they're intervening at all, why not just vaporize Shao Kahn? But I get where you're coming from, and if we go off and we do that, we're going to end up on this huge tangent.
Sure. The other thing though about like specifically how MK9 changes things is, I keep saying the Elder Gods put up a force field, Kahn can't walk through a portal. This game specifically says the Elder Gods never did that. Sindel did that to protect Earthrealm because she knows from experience that the Elder Gods won't protect the realms, it suggests that the tournament was always just Shao Kahn believing a story he was told, and he could have invaded anytime he wanted.
Yeah, this game doesn't just make Raiden into an idiot, it makes Shao Kahn into an idiot too.
And it makes the Elder Gods into just complete absentee assholes. This is the worst, most ineffectual, most aloof and assholish they've ever been depicted in the franchise. Like, we went from the Elder Gods don't interfere because they believe in you, and they want you to believe in yourself, which is like a positive, affirming life message. Like an inspirational fucking theme. We went from that to the Elder Gods are just fucking lazy. Which makes you ask the question, then why are there Elder Gods in this story? Why do we bother with that plot device at all? Especially when every 15 minutes Raiden's dipping out to go, I don't know what to do here. I must consult the Elder Gods. They're not going to tell you anything useful. Why are you bothering?
Anyway, before we get into this, there's one more final point that I want to make. And I feel like it's an important one. Because it goes beyond the rules of the story, retcons, and all that nonsense. Even if I ignore all the plot holes and all the idiocy, the simple act of just saying, actually, the tournament really works this way. Technicality this, actually that. It undercuts the main premise of the beginnings of this entire fucking series. And when you do that, you're sending a message that you're willing to change anything and everything, and you don't care about the building blocks that you've set up. Like, imagine Star Trek's Federation. Like, their mission being, we founded this whole thing to explore and seek out new life and new civilizations in order to establish more profitable trade routes.
Yeah. If it went from humanity is like we've evolved past all those like negative motivations like greed, and we're just benevolent. No, we're still greedy. Fuck it.
Let's do this before I throw up.
No.
And here we are.
I do kind of enjoy the way the invasion starts with Stryker, because that's kind of how the bios do it in the original MK3. Is Stryker's kind of the POV character when the invasion starts. He's the one in New York City on the ground when the fortress appears and all the people drop dead from having their soul stolen.
Base, Eagle 2, we count 18. 1-8.
Oh yeah, all of this is legit. It comes right out of Stryker's MK3 ending, where they say that there was chaos in the hours before the invasion.
Not what I was thinking when I swore.
Yeah, he was,
Khan doesn't just walk in and start taking souls.
People were rioting and they mobilized the cops, and that's what Stryker was doing. Now, what I don't so much enjoy is
the shot sucks.
all of this whole sequence where they're shooting at Reptile. In a moment here, we're about to see the dumbest visual. Yeah, here it comes. This is the worst moment in the entire game from a visual point of view. The idea that he can block bullets with his fucking mist spit.
Enough of this!
So what are you trying to tell me? That I can vaporize bullets?
If you were using your powers right, you wouldn't have to. I'm just saying, like, if they really wanted to show, like, Reptile fighting Stryker, and somebody asked, well, how does he just not get shot? The question is, he can turn invisible and has superhuman reflexes. Why did you come up with this dumb spit gag?
Sure, he's got acid spit, but I have a gun.
You do have a gun. What if you had a gun? Speaking of getting shot. See? That's how it would really go down. You know, I love meter burning because he just keeps shooting.
I'm having a good time here. Stryker's a lot of fun.
Like I said last time, Noob Saibot and Stryker, it bothers me that they're low tier because their actual, like, pressing the buttons, their moves, is one of my favorite things to do in this game. I really like the way those two characters turned out. They just need to, I guess, buff their damage or something?
Seriously, man? This is how you do it. This is how you improve a character and make him awesome.
That's sort of... So Stryker is sort of the example I always go to of, like, NRS could improve characters if they brought back the bad ones. Like, the glow-up he gets in this game, you could give to Dairu or Su Hao, and it wouldn't be hard.
Just like they did for our boy Smoke.
We're going street
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
We've been compromised.
Which, I wonder why they bothered if they were just gonna kill him off at the end of the game.
Well, it was a completely goddamn waste. Smoke, Stryker here too.
Why couldn't Stryker have just been one of the ones who survived, like Johnny and Sonya? Like, he's not even useful as a Revenant because he has no superpowers. He's just some guy. Why does Quan Chi prefer to have him as a Revenant Shang Tsung and Motaro die in this game too, and Quan Chi doesn't use them.
Okay, so did Cabal just take a look at Melina
Hey,
and deduce that
what are you
she
doing
was
out here?
maybe dressed like a prostitute? And that she was on
Probably.
their side?
Yes. Yes.
Well, cops love hookers. I don't know if you know this. Look, there are two things cops are known for, and it's arresting people who get with hookers and getting with hookers.
Ah, glorious double standard.
What are they gonna do? Arrest themselves? Hashtag normalize sex work.
Nice. Oldest profession in the book, people.
But why does Melina take off her mask and then put it back on there? Why does she gotta like show everybody what's going on?
Maybe she was inspired by Scorpion at the end of MK 2021.
Yeah, I guess.
So, on the topic of weird, bizarre retcons, do we want to talk maybe about the fact that Cabal is an ex-con who is now a police officer?
Yes, so I hate the Cabal's a cop in this game.
Like, to be very fair about it, this is the only time to date that we've actually gotten good Cabal from MK3 in a game. So,
Yeah,
you know,
but
I really do appreciate that, but the problem being that being a part of a major international crime syndicate kind of closes the doors for a career in law
Yeah, here's the thing.
enforcement.
If you have felonies on your record, you're not allowed to go to the police academy. They will reject you.
Oh my god, it's so dumb.
The other thing is, the whole appeal of Cabal's story is that it's a story of redemption. He was bad, and he got fucked up karmically, so he turned good. Like, he learned his lesson. In this, he's just good from the start, so there's no character arc. There's no journey to go on. It's just that he's static the whole time.
It makes me wonder why they didn't just, like, I don't know, have him booked at a special forces base somewhere or something, have it get blown up.
Well,
Who are
so
you?
here's the thing. The only reason Cabal is a cop in this game was
You
to make the
alright?
game shorter. If you introduce Cabal during Striker's
Cage
chapter,
fighting
you
giant
don't have to
monster.
cut away and give him
What
his
is
own
this, Time
backstory
Snatchers?
scene. It was just...
That guy just
I
said,
said
like,
the thing.
from his hands. How'd he do that?
No.
Why doesn't Raiden do that to everybody?
How'd he do that?
Spread out. Multiple
That stupid
targets.
line.
And that was another major change just there because Johnny Cage was supposed to die.
Yeah, just like that.
And Motaro was originally the one who killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd have... You know, the trilogy just says it was extermination squads that got him. We always kind of assumed it was Motaro because it's better if a named character dies to a named character instead of a bunch of NPCs.
There is also a piece of unused UMK3
Yeah.
tracked mode art, which shows Motaro killing him.
That's true.
So this game is acknowledging a never-before-seen detail.
Yeah, that was cutting room floor material. 9 finally confirmed it. So I want to talk about Kintaro being the one to scar Cabal.
By all means.
Cabal never mentions Kintaro by name the rest of this game. Like when he's given the mask and he's recovered and he's out for revenge, he blames Kano, even though Kano had nothing to do with it, and he blames Shao Kahn, like he does in the original 3. But he doesn't seem to know who the actual guy who burned him is. So it didn't need to be Kintaro, it could have been anybody.
Yes, but
It's like they chose him at completely random. And here's the thing, if he's gonna blame Kano, then wouldn't it have made more sense if he was, say, burned by a Tarkatan holding a flamethrower that the Black Dragon sold to Shao Kahn? You know, we've got this whole subplot about Kano selling weapons to Shang that they're gonna use in the invasion, and they show fucking Tarkatans with rocket launchers and shit.
Eagle 2.
Why don't you use it here?
Need medevac. Current position.
Then he has a reason to be
Cabal
mad
is
at
down.
Kano.
Third-degree burns.
while your points are true and valid, I can't be upset at the fact that they let Kintaro do something. It was overdue.
But it doesn't count is the whole problem. He didn't actually do something.
He set a man on fire.
I like screen time for Kintaro too, but this isn't where I'd put it because it meant nothing.
How about this for things that mean absolutely nothing? Because here's a case of using a really strong character to sell the minor guy for SummerSlam.
Oh yeah.
Can you conceive of Ermac beating Stryker in a fight? Because I don't.
Ermac just threw this guy, like, multiple angle changes with a telekinesis to get him to go down the stairs into the subway. Why doesn't he just keep slamming him into things? Why are they now fist fighting? If Ermac can do that, why is he giving them a chance?
And they're gonna do this shit with Ermac again later.
Like, I know I was saying all about how the theme of the franchise used to be that, you know, the infinite human potential, and that it's like an inspirational message for the kids. You could be anything when you grow up. You could be Liu Kang. You could win the tournament. And Stryker is the Batman in the Justice League of Mortal Kombat. You know, he's the guy who has no powers, but is still able to hang with everybody else because he's that good anyway. But nobody's Ermac good.
Oh yeah, like, they looked at Deception, where this guy took down 5 separate members of the main cast, and went, let's use them to push the little guy.
Oh yeah. This is the most Roman Reigns push you could possibly give a character, and they do nothing with it afterward.
And they're gonna pull this shit again
Like,
with Ermac with Goro and Kintaro later.
If
Yeah.
Stryker was going to keep, like, climbing the ladder, like, if next he fought Goro and Kintaro and won, I mean, he did just beat Kintaro, but he has a gun.
He has a gun.
But if he fought them both at the same time, like Cybersub does, and then Stryker beat Shao Kahn, then you could kind of see the arc, you know? You'd be like, alright, they were doing the thing. But he beats Ermac and then does nothing the rest of the game.
It has been brought to the Emperor's attention that you have a gun. As such, you have been chosen to compete in Mortal Kombat.
Stryker is,
I
what if you had a
don't-
gun?
I don't like this Ermac costume.
No, this was the start of putting him in trench coats, and it led to him being the mummy we have today. And I don't
It's okay here.
like this dark wizard Ermac is not how I see the character. The Deception version had like sort of an Arabic theme, like sort of a his head wasn't wrapped to make you think of a mummy. His head was wrapped to make you think of a turban.
I don't mind this outfit so much, but I do prefer the primary.
You know, he was like, they were going for kind of a Swami guru, you know, Eastern mystic. And now it's fucking a wizard if they were in the Matrix is the theme here.
Not to mention the MK legacy influence in games after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, when they decided he should just be a gray-skinned zombie, that was the end of Ermac. He'll never be cool again.
It's insane how they doubled down for it in 12.
Oh yeah.
Like, wow.
They have no concept of what Ermac fans actually want. They do not care.
I called that shit.
I think it's well established now that they tend to make games for themselves to prevent themselves from getting
where is
bored,
he?
and the
Ermac
days
hasn't
of
been here.
listening to what the fans want
Perhaps
are
he
more or
has
less
gone to
behind
find
us.
Nah, he was way too banged up. Someone took him.
Yeah, this guy who was burnt so bad that he left some of his skin on the pavement definitely got up and walked away.
Now, I love the shit that we're about to see right here. I love the whole idea of Kano just sitting down next to a surgical table and putting a life support system together like a Lego set.
He just... yeah, he just has all this shit lying around ready to go. Like he's... This is standard equipment for the Black Dragons. You never know when you're gonna
bit
lose
goes
your lungs.
That one goes there.
Does that come with instructions?
Yeah, there's a whole IKEA thing. It's...
Satisfying click. We're good to go. Turn it on.
So, like, if the tube goes into the throat, what's the mask for?
You've had a rough
shooting lasers out of your eyes.
Oh.
in the flesh.
It is important to say that, like, Cabal has never made an ounce of sense. Never.
Burned to a crisp.
It's
you
true.
were.
Cabal hasn't been right since Deception. And there were problems even in 3, like how does he make the buzzsaws come out of the ground from behind him? What power is that?
We could talk about this shit for 2 hours, and we will.
Oh yeah, the Lost on Cabal is gonna be a trip.
Just to clarify, he's a classic character, I love him, I wouldn't change almost anything about him, He's one of my favorites, in fact, but he makes no sense.
The thing is, he's always been a goofy motherfucker, but he used to be cool goofy, and he's gotten more goofy. You know, he's gotten more cartoonish.
Like, look at these
and
fucking
dumb.
pigtails right here.
No, he didn't have pigtails in 3. I don't understand why people can't the people who work at NRS who do these costume designs, they see the 2 grooves at the top of his mask and they think pigtails?
I think, if I remember right, the hair did come out of the grooves separately in the back of his head, but it flowed down into the hair that was already there.
No, it was just loose, long hair, and he just happened to have an uneven seam at the top of his mask.
The pigtails look like a bunch of sea urchins taped together, dude. I
And
don't like it.
That is a graphical concern with how they did hair in this game. Sindel has it too, especially
It's
when
like
she stretches her
fucking
hair out to grab people.
It's like segmented, spiky clumps of hair. It looks
Yeah,
really
it's
shitty.
they layered tubes of hair inside one another to make like a Matryoshka doll of hair. It extends like a telescope, is what his hair is doing.
I like when he gets offered the hook swords, he's all like, I don't do that anymore, man. I don't live in that world anymore.
Yeah, you're not allowed to use hook swords at Police Academy. I don't know if you've ever seen the Police Academy movies with Steve Guttenberg, but hook swords are forbidden.
I do
allowed.
love his X-ray. His X-ray is one of the coolest in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Fuck.
I don't really like Kano being the one to heal him up and give him a mask.
Yeah, it's like, what fucking medical knowledge do you know, Kano? Like,
So first
fuck
of
you.
all,
Well, he knows how to put a Lego set together. That's all it takes.
the whole thing of like he didn't have super speed before and Shang Tsung's magic had a weird side effect
Not so keen on
doesn't
being
really
dead
make
now,
sense. It's
are you?
like, where'd you get your superpowers? I was struck by lightning. Lightning doesn't work that way.
No one gets out of
That's
Outworld
just
without
lazy.
Shao
That's a
Kahn
bad
say
origin
so.
story. You just came up with some shit to fill
Shao
time.
Kahn's a
I mean, I always just
big
thought that he
boss.
gave himself a tracheotomy.
But no, yeah, I always imagined, like you did, Shad, that... So Cabal's story in MK3 is all about how he got jumped by surprise at the start of the invasion, and it's his pure hate and need for revenge that kept him alive long enough to, you know, get the respirator going. So I always pictured him, like, lying bloody on the floor of some Black Dragon warehouse, and, like, crawling to a knife and a tube, and giving himself a tracheotomy, and then he was able to live long enough to slap some, you know, some of the cybernetics they've got around there because they sell weapons into a mask.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he did it himself. It's about, you know, he refused to die. That's the theme of Cabal. He was too angry to die.
We should talk about this right here for a
I'm
minute.
thinking he's a bit much.
Yeah.
Because as cruel as this game was to Shang right there, that is something that Shao Kahn would do.
It is kind of a surprise in the old timeline that Shang survived. Because he's fucked up 3 games in a row. Yeah, and Shao Kahn kept just going, I know you lost last time, I'm going to give you more power, so maybe you won't lose this time. And it never
Yeah,
worked.
they had a whole Megatron and Starscream thing going on.
Although, the real reason for that scene was the writers just went, you know, we don't need Shang anymore. We could just have Quan Chi do all the things. And that's the whole thing. People are well aware of the Quan Chi problem. People have been talking about that for 13 fucking
About
years.
how they gave him half the shit in MK3 to do.
There's just too much Quan Chi in this game. There's too much. He does way too many things that somebody else did. Mostly Shang did in the old timeline. And to be clear, Quan was involved in the resurrection of Sindel in the old timeline. Mythologies establish that. But he wasn't the only person involved. It wasn't his idea to do it. He was involved because only Netherrealmers can do necromancy. You can't... no one in Outworld knows how to raise the dead, so they needed his help. That was the only involvement he had before, and he damn sure wasn't, you know, holding Scorpion's leash at the 2 tournaments in the fucking old timeline.
This is really not going my way.
But I actually think, you know, everybody complains so loud about Quan Chi being pushed too hard in this game that he gets humiliated repeatedly in X, and I think that may have been an overcorrection.
Come on, almost
Because
there.
I still like the character of Quan Chi.
Oh my god, I can't believe I fucking pulled that off. Fucking endurance rounds in story mode. Whose idea was this shit?
You need to be doing more air fireballs.
That good old broken MK3 shit.
Yeah, you gotta get down the quick hop, that FGC shit that made Cabal the most broken character in the game.
I was able to do that on an arcade stick. It's always been a bit easier there than on a controller pad.
Fair enough.
It's the thumb and wrist movements. Depends what you're doing.
I have more precision on controller than stick. I've never been good with an arcade. I guess that's why I preferred the home versions when I was a kid.
I agree. I much prefer pad than stick.
Pad is generally easier for Mortal Kombat than like
the thing
Street
is,
Fighter is.
When we were kids, practicing on a stick cost a lot of money because you had to put in a quarter to play the fucking game.
Pleased to say that I still have my MK9 Tournament Edition arcade stick that I won the night this game came out. I never use it.
Oh my god.
Yes?
Are you gonna elaborate?
No.
Yeah, it's David Lynch's. That's right.
I don't need to elaborate. It's already happening.
What's happening? What's happening, Gordon? No! Come on. Stay away from me. A little more.
I love how the cutscene
Oh my
went
God,
from
yes.
Shao Kahn
Oh, wow, you
standing
did it.
there empowering Sindel, and the moment the camera angle changed to the fight, he's sitting in the chair. And now he's in the chair, so it really happened.
Epic face plant incoming.
I like how that's the first time he does the speed, and he's like, "Whoa, what happened?"
Yeah, it's like a goofy fucking superhero movie moment. We didn't need that.
The weird straightness of his coat as he hits the ground kind of bugs me.
I don't like the eyes on that mask.
It's incredible. This is a side effect.
I love this interface.
The eyes are actually the most accurate to MK3 part of that mask. Although we should this costume is actually his deception alt. It's not based on his MK3 primary.
Oh my god, Sub-Zero is a robot. I am shocked and awed.
Who could have seen this coming? It's not like we watched him get taken earlier in the game. So, what if Smoke was in this scene? You know, what if he was the one fighting Cyber Sub-Zero?
I like to consider myself unbiased, but it might be an improvement.
Wouldn't it have meant something if the guy who helped Cyber Sub-Zero, get his mind back was a character connected to Sub-Zero instead of a random fight
You mean like what happened in MK3?
in a random chapter
No,
with a random character?
that doesn't make any fucking sense, Razor. Shut the fuck up already.
Battle of the Realms got this right. Sub-Zero and Smoke fought.
I'm just saying, the whole, my best friend was taken and I couldn't save him, and I feel guilty about it. Imagine if that got a payoff.
Nah, you're just gonna see him on a table and feel bad about it.
You got a payoff in the old timeline.
Razor, I think you just need to sit down and just enjoy things.
Okay, but if you want me to enjoy something, put something good in front of me.
I'm fine with Sub-Zero being a
That's
robot.
too much.
It's great.
Razor,
It's gonna go somewhere, isn't it?
Razor, that's too much to ask for. Come on.
I understand it's too much to ask. That doesn't mean I can't complain about it.
I should use my buzzsaws. I forgot they exist. Or I can eat shit.
You cannot land that fucking thing, can you?
I did it before.
Did we already get the moment where we saw through his HUD and he was like...
Yeah, we did
You
it
saw
before.
Frost,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, there's a Reiko and Frost are in his fucking database, even though he hasn't met Frost yet.
Even though Frost should be like...
This is such a weird Shiva outfit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
I kinda get that they were trying to do like a Viking thing with the face paint because she has a mohawk and it kind of goes with it, but
I don't think it works.
the rest of the outfit is just, well, her primary is a skimpy red bikini, so I guess her alt should be a skimpy red bikini too.
Aha!
Which I'm not complaining about Skippy Red bikinis. I think she should, like, it bothers me how clothed she is in 11, because every previous appearance of any Shao Kahn sort of heavily gave you the impression that this is a culture that doesn't wear a lot of clothes for, like, cultural and maybe the climate they live in reasons. Like, I assume, you know, these people live in a volcano. We've seen the fucking Kuatan Palace before. They like it hot. Maybe they should be dressed like they live in a tropical environment instead of,
Ah, you like that shit, eh?
I don't want to go on a rant about fucking Western cultural values getting more prudish over the years, but yeah.
MK12 censorship issues are well known.
Yeah.
And down you go.
I'm just saying, every character should come from a specific culture, and you should be able to tell what they're about by what they wear.
Sub-Zero.
For example, why is Cabal's outfit
You
a
have great
gi?
power indeed,
Like, he's
Cabal.
got this karate
You're the
shirt.
lightning guy. You
He
helped
had,
Stryker.
it was just,
Stryker.
it was
See,
like a
is
Vietnam
He
veteran's
is joining us
olive
in the fight against Shao
fucking
Kahn.
button-up
We
shirt
will
in
welcome your aid
MK3,
also.
and it fit the theme of, like, this guy from
That
America
which made
who had
him Sub-Zero
survived
no
an
longer
attack and was
exists.
fighting in a war. He
my
looked
friend.
like
What they did
kind
to
of
him.
a roughed-up
It is-
homeless person.
Sad
It
Smoke
is-
is sad.
Now he's dressed like fucking
You're right.
Cobra and Kira.
What's up with his Tron shin pads?
Yeah, why are there lights in his shins? What's that for? Does that help him run fast? Because they said it was magic.
This bit here, though, objectively cool.
Yeah, I really like how parts of his HUD are in Chinese. Like, that was a clever thing to do. Like, he's got a, this proprietary Lin Kuei operating system.
So what this scene here implies is that in order to reprogram
Ah!
a Cyber Ninja, all you need to do is remove their command and control module. That's
Yeah,
it.
apparently you only need to remove one plug-and-play part, and
How do you feel?
the programming goes away.
Anyone could do it.
What is it?
I am not looking forward to this chapter.
I remember the things I have done for Shao
I
Kahn.
remember the timeline where this stupid shit didn't happen.
Hey, okay.
What the fuck
How
else
can
did
Step
you
back?
do? You've only been here for like a
I
minute.
do not know.
Yeah, like, what
My attempts to
things
alter
could you
future
possibly have
events
done for
have
Shao
negative
Kahn in the
consequences.
amount of
Sub-Zero
time
should never
this
have
story has
undergone
been
this
going on?
transformation. Enlisting him may only further divert the flow of time.
We shouldn't have rescued him, we're changing time too much.
Obviously, this man has a plan.
Raiden is so against doing anything good or helpful.
Turning me into a fucking idiot.
Man, I really hate his fucking shoulder pads.
Oh, I can't stand Cyber Sub-Zero's entire goddamned outfit. Especially that stupid, visible, exposed brain pod up on the top of his
Oh yeah.
head.
So the battle damage system in this game, you can't see it in these cutscenes, but if Sub-Zero takes a single hit, his brain is showing.
Christ.
The only real problem I have with this outfit is the fact that it looks too much like the Predator. Like,
Yeah.
Cyber Ninjas were always partially based on Predator armor. Like, this is too on the nose. It's a little too close. But I like the chest and legs because they're supposed to be based on Deception Cyber Smoke. Like I said before, the idea that if Smoke had been the one captured, he'd have gotten this armor.
The predominant teal all over it just really throws everything
Yeah,
off.
the color scheme,
There needs to be something black.
yes. It drives me crazy how little black there is in all three of them, and Cyber Sub has the least.
Looks like a fucking killer whale, and I
Like,
can't
it's all the
stand it.
silver. Katana has the same problem. Katana's costumes were always blue and black, and in this game it's blue and silver. And it just feels like there's something Disneyfication about it, I feel like. Like they're trying to
Disney Princess Katana.
make Katana look more how, like, you would dress your child if you were shopping for a baby. You know, palette-wise. She's got fucking flowers embossed on her outfit, too, and shit like that. Like, oh, she's a girl, so she needs some pretty daisies. Floral pattern.
Well, half of the costume designs in this game are awful. Half are over-designed, half are strippers.
And while we were playing Deception, I pointed out the fact that the pattern on MK9 Katana's boots like that half Chinese luck symbol, half a flower, is actually reused from Ashra's clothes. It's not. It doesn't even belong to Katana.
God, he's so awkward to play as.
I don't like Cyber Sub's moves. I never liked the ice bomb shit.
The ice bomb,
I get it. Smoke was kind of Sector.
so he's kind
The
of
Cyber Sub is kind of Cyrax.
Which I do appreciate.
I think the ice bombs are dumb. I don't think he needed the disassemble teleport. I like his ice buster sword in his combos. That's the one thing. And he has a lot of spin kicks. Like he's the most flippy and acrobatic of the characters in this game.
One thing I miss is the sound effects when you hit the cybers.
Yeah, that's been a problem since like Deception. They took out the noises.
No. I mean when you're punching a cyber character. I miss that sound effect. That clang sound. Yeah.
Does it not clang in this game?
No, I'm saying I miss it in this game. It's not in the ones after. I miss it from this game.
From this
game.
Yeah. You need to be a little more clear about it.
Blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
This is also some pretty cool vision right here.
You'll notice they changed it from a Boon Tobias station to Boon Baron station.
That's what happens when you leave the team.
Oh well.
I love how petty Kano's being here.
So you remember last episode when I was talking about stages that don't serve a narrative function and could have been replaced by better ones? There's really no reason for us to be at the bell tower right now. All of this could have been happening in the graveyard.
Get him to the graveyard at St. Dominic's.
Or,
at least a version of the bell tower that had the atmosphere of the original.
I mean, they made...
Don't care, really.
You can barely see a bell. They changed it from a bell tower to a clock tower. The original purpose of the bell tower was to be a reference to the end of Batman 89. You were fighting in the place that Batman fought the Joker at the end of the movie. It looks nothing like that now.
Interesting use of ice
I do kind of like all the gears and shit, but
Also, if I may make a suggestion, so church graveyards and church bell towers are usually connected to churches, aren't they?
Go, all of you, now!
So why is it that the church in this game is where the good guys are hanging out and has nothing to do with the bad guys at the graveyard and the bell tower?
I mean, the good guys were supposed to be hanging out in Nightwolf's land. But
nobody knows.
Fucking who cares? Look how cool our blue robot is here. He can beat up 2 Shao Kahns.
Oh yeah, at the same time. He's so much stronger now. Which is why
he'll be a big hit for SummerSlam.
You wait until Sindel shows up and kills everybody. You watch how Sub-Zero dies. If his armor is so much more powerful, you watch the hit that takes him out.
God, it's also transparent. It's sad.
I do like Cyber Sub's fucking Kool-Aid blood.
Yeah, I do enjoy that he runs on some kind of antifreeze.
Poor Goro and Kentaro. They really don't deserve this.
I do wanna mention, so it's an established canon thing that when a person is turned into a cyber ninja, whatever magic powers they had as a human, they lose those because they've lost their connection to their soul. And they have to have them replaced with something mechanical.
I wanted that to happen.
For example, as we saw earlier in this game, Human Sector had the power to teleport. Green light would come out of the ground and he'd do his fucking uppercut. He wasn't dropping a smoke bomb and doing trickery. That's an actual power. But when he becomes a robot, the green light is changed to that binary code stuff that implies he's like Star Trek disintegrating. So Cyber Sub-Zero here no longer has access to the powerful cryomancy that we are familiar with from the old timeline and from previously in this game. Now he just has refrigerators in his hands that shoot at you. And this is stronger. This is better.
It's the power of fucking nanomachines, son. You can do anything.
Because he's able to beat Goro and Kentaro at the same time. He must be stronger, right? Right? Look how much bigger the ice sword he makes as a robot is from the ice sword he was making earlier in the game.
Big sword means big strong.
He's more powerful now.
Note to self. Stop doing anything.
Here's another thing I want to point out. So, I
didn't deserve that.
The thing you were supposed to be doing in this chapter is Sub-Zero was like, they don't know I've been reprogrammed. I'll go back and infiltrate Kahn's forces and find stuff out. And immediately the moment he gets there, Sector knows he's not programmed. The plan completely failed.
You know, it's probably not hard for robot X-ray vision or whatever the fuck to determine that you're missing an entire command and control module. This game is very selectively dumb about plot when it's required to be.
So, speaking of which, like, Sub-Zero even asks, what are we doing in the subway? Why'd you bring me here? And Sector's like, so I can fucking interrogate you. What's wrong with your programming? If Sector was bringing him to a trap, why didn't he bring somewhere where there were more dudes?
Thought he could do it himself?
Why didn't they have that conversation in the fortress where they were surrounded by Shao Kahn's soldiers? Why did Sector think being alone with him was a better trap?
Because they wanted to make the Lin Kuei look good. They can't know he can be reprogrammed.
Okay. I have to...
Yeah, that's about what I was expecting.
Well, I guess he's not more powerful after all.
Good on him!
The timeline has been corrected.
Now let me do this without sucking.
I even love, in fucking MKX, specifically in the comic, they have Quan Chi say, the reason I'm restoring you to human is because you were weaker as a cyborg. All this technology is not to be trusted.
There was no plan with the cyber robot Sub-Zero shit. It was shock value, pure and simple, and there was no plan about it.
But he lets Jax keep his arms. He lets Cabal keep his mask. Cabal has a lung injury and can't breathe without his mask. But Quan Chi says you're stronger the way you are.
You're fine the way you are. You're fine the way you are. You're good. You got superpowers. Not you. This is all wrong. Right back to being human.
You are a better fighter as a cripple, sir. Your disability is preferable to me than looking at your fucking Steven Seagal ponytail.
Oh my god, the more I think about it, the dumber it is.
You know, it always bothered me how it would automatically switch back to the side you were already on. His X-ray.
I hate X-rays that you have to do in the air.
See, I'm fine with it. It's just...
You can't combo...
I understand that Sub is supposed to be, like, kicking past them onto the other side of the screen, but it never works right.
The thing is, an X-ray that has to be executed in the air is, like, impossible to combo into, so it's the easiest one to block in the game.
I'm pretty sure Cyber Sub was a relatively low tier at the end of it.
We need some FGC guy to tell me how viable was Cyber Sub. I mean, nobody ever used X-rays.
I don't think he was very viable, but I think one of his strings actually does go into the air, and you can do the X-ray in that.
Maybe. But yeah, like in the tournament scene, nobody ever used X-rays anyway. It was more efficient to meter burn your specials.
Oh, thank fuck for
that. Was
that.
it back 2-2, or is it back 2 up 2? I forget what the string is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't play him.
Shad doesn't know what I'm talking about when I say 2.
As a matter of fact, I do, actually.
3 or 4.
I've had a little list of combos in front of me for every one of these.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just some simple bread and butters. Nothing fancy. But enough about that. It's time to Roman Reigns this shit some more.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ermac getting big entrances and then getting jobbed out.
The robot has to win SummerSlam, Razor.
Why did he change clothes?
Why did Ermac change clothes? How long ago did he fight Stryker? It's probably been like 10 minutes.
Did he pack a little trunk with a couple of spare outfits for the invasion?
Does Ermac wear clothes or does he shapeshift?
Actually, that's a good question, because some people can do it. Raiden's made out of lightning, and he can be whatever he wants.
Well, yes, Raiden can decide what he wants to look like, because he just, like, strikes himself with lightning and does whatever. Like, it's teleporting. His body is fucking...
Ooh, that's a good punish.
It's a mortal shell he fucking inhabits. But Ermac has flesh, right? Like, the souls inside him have to be contained in the body, right? He's not, like... It's not an illusion that he has skin.
I always figured he was just kind of this giant flesh bag with a bunch of souls stuck inside.
So I would presume he has to like dress himself with actual clothing. Like he can't just shapeshift. Like Scarlet is made of blood. She could, you know, people have complained like she should be dressed skimpier because she needs blood to touch her skin. Her clothes are her skin. She works like Mystique in the X-Men.
Those people need to go to horny jail.
Thanks. I thought we were done.
But what about Kano?
I need to
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't-
fuck him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
can't
he's
break
gonna-
out of the ice.
He's gonna stay frozen. We don't see Kano again for the rest of the game. That was the end of Kano. He remains in the block of ice.
I salute you, Officers Drew and Clement. And now it's time to take one of the single most awesome things about MK3 and throw it right down the shitter. First off, Shao Kahn never needed anyone's goddamn help to steal the souls of everyone on Earth and make a soul-nado. We always understood that he did that shit himself.
Yeah.
But no, we gotta get Quan Chi to do it.
Quan Chi can't even steal souls. Like, the entire plot of Deadly Alliance says Quan Chi needs Shang Tsung's help. The reason they are teamed up is because Shang knows how to steal souls and Quan doesn't. Deadly Alliance can't happen if Quan Chi can do this.
Absorbed by Shao Kahn, multiplying his
And
power.
you know how awesome it was that the entire setting of MK3 was this post-apocalyptic dead world? The atmosphere was incredible.
How could I have failed Earthrealm?
And I know, Razor, you don't particularly care much for post-apocalyptic scenarios, but
No, here's the... I don't care about specific post-apocalypses, because the theme of most post-apocalypse stories is if society broke down, humans would turn on each other like animals, and I hate seeing that. It's tiresome. I'm done with it. I also don't like zombies. But the kind of apocalypse that MK3 was, where it was empty and barren and quiet and creepy, was a perfect atmosphere for like an end-of-the-world story.
Hey, wait a minute.
I
Kano
really
broke
like
out.
that.
You are not worthy of the name.
Yeah, apparently he did get out of the ice off screen, but we're not going to see him anyway.
I wore those colors.
now here's one of the few bits of the MK3 segment of this game that I actually enjoy.
It is
Yeah.
It's a moment that people love referencing.
Like, the dialogue here is good, which is why they repeat the we share blood, we're not brothers line over and over again in future games.
If only it weren't happening with a goddamn robot.
What end? To serve the Netherrealm.
I also want to point out that this scene establishes Noob Saibot's not under mind control, he is Bihan, and he likes being Noob better.
If I'm being honest, if I were to actually rewrite MK3, I might actually consider having these two meet and having Kuai Liang find out Bihan's alive here. Although I do know the original it doesn't happen until Deception.
Yeah. Well, I actually... So as much as I like that scene, I do think MK3's a little early for Noob to be revealing his true identity to his brother. I would do it in, like, 4 seems like a more reasonable time to do it, because that's when you're actually fighting Shinnok's forces.
Not only that, but you could also include Scorpion in the same scene.
Yeah, yeah. That's another thing, like, why is Scorpion... I said it before, why is Scorpion not hanging out with...
Wait, aren't you that guy that killed me? Nope, fuck this. Fuck this entire outfit. This is ripping off my damn head.
Yes, Scorpion would turn if he was in this scene. He would be, like, beating up Noob Saibot with you.
That'd be fucking awesome.
That
would actually be a much
shit.
better scenario. Yeah, I would like to see that.
We're actually touching on another one of the angles that this game could not do from MK3. Scorpion does find out Sub-Zero's on the good guy's side and switches sides.
Yeah.
Like, the angle is that at some point during the events of MK3, Shao Kahn opens a portal into Hell, tries to steal a bunch of souls, and that's how Scorpion actually gets out, and Shao Kahn recruits him to his side. And because of this game,
Well,
the way it is, they couldn't do that.
No, but I'm just saying, like, throughout these MK3 chapters of this game, Quan Chi is everywhere, and Noob Saibot is always at his side. Scorpion could have been at his other side. He could have had 2 minions following him around. And then
he
you'd
could
have more
like,
Scorpion.
gotten Scorpion and Noob and Melina out of Hell at the same time.
But, I also, just a small observation. So they had these models that they made for these soldier NPCs, but they didn't use any of them for Sonya's team in MK1. They just had Jax instead. I feel like maybe if we had the assets, why didn't we just do MK1? You know, like, why did we have to change Sonya's story and have her rescue Jax instead of fail to rescue her team?
I mean, it can't be said often enough. This game is a hyper-condensing of MK1, 2, and 3. They can't do the story there right. They don't have time.
Yeah, yeah.
From like a month-long story, squished into a day.
How'd it get there so fast?
And I really missed when this stage was set in nighttime.
Yeah.
I guess No, you know what? I know exactly how he got here so fast. It's because the church is right next to the fucking graveyard. The heroes are hiding out where the bad guys are fighting. Like, the whole time Cybersub was fighting Goro, Kentaro, and Ermac, everybody else was downstairs.
Seriously though, where's my creepy graveyard?
But yeah, I do wish the graveyard had like a proper dark blue sky like it does in MK3.
Seriously, there is something about the way that they handled MK3 in this game, as opposed to the first two parts. I hate it. They just sucked all the cool out of it.
Yeah,
From
yeah,
the
like
stages to the plot. The whole thing just drives me insane.
Most of MK3's stages were set at night, and they had this eerie, like, desolate... Like, you could tell it's empty because little bits of newspaper would float on the wind and stuff like that. And
yeah, that was the good stuff. Damn it.
It being set at night enhanced the feeling of, you know, aloneness.
It was really spectral and spooky.
Everything's got to be like an orange sunset now, and it's tiresome.
No, there's really something to be said for a dark and spooky atmosphere.
Like all this yellow and orange is not as attractive to me.
All right, I'm gonna say a nice thing. Nightwolf's a lot of fun to play. Bzzzt.
I would like to say that I really like Nightwolf's moves in this game.
And
I mean, they're classic Nightwolf moves. He feels like a Nightwolf. Actually, I will point out, so this game is the only one where he makes the axe as a Green Lantern construct.
No wule for you.
I prefer that over him having a metal axe. Like, because then he's using the same powers he uses with the bow and arrow. Everything is tied together thematically. Also, like, he make a green hunting knife in his strings. That was neat.
Yeah, that was sick. I love the EX hatchet launcher.
Yeah.
Time to fuck up everything.
Like, just aesthetically, and, you know, they fucked up some things when they brought him back in 11, where some of his moves were blue instead of green. His animal spirits were all different colors, like fucking orange. I just want things to be more tied together, you know? He makes stuff out of green, and it's the same color as his shoulder charge and his reflector. Green is his thing. Just do it the way you've done it. Don't change stuff for no reason, especially if it's going to make him aesthetically less interesting. So Noob Saibot's dead right after we introduced him.
Is he?
Right, yeah. That's true.
Well,
okay, so how did Noob Saibot come back from this? Because he wasn't one of the people in 11 that got, like, sand-shifted back.
They don't really say. They just kind of imply that he's been, like, after he exploded, he respawned somewhere deep in hell and hasn't been able to get out, but Chronica let him out. Because he's not from the past 11. He's not one of those characters. He's actually from the present and remembers what happened in 9.
This isn't helpful. We cannot.
But yeah, the explanation for where he's been, like why he wasn't in X, it's just fuck it.
Rhetorical question. It's a fucking plot problem.
So yeah, now Raiden is.
Now the senility is setting in.
Yeah, he's completely spacing out.
Nightwolf.
What a helpful mentor.
It is done.
What a protector of the realm who could be trusted with our souls, right? How could we lose with a man like this in charge?
Oh, is it not enough?
So let's recap how the presence of the good guys here in this
I
temple
must speak with
stage
the elder gods.
is actually a
Shao
shorthand
Kahn's
for
violation
all
must
of
be
them
punished.
in MK3 being on Nightwolf's lands.
Earthrealm.
Yeah, once
Cannot
again,
win without the elder gods.
much like
Master
Shiva guarding
shadow.
people in shitty places because they
You will
couldn't
lead
make a
until you
dungeon
return.
stage. The only
As
reason
you
we're in the
wish.
church is because they couldn't make a more reasonable hideout like Nightwolf's reservation.
Well, now what?
Personally,
And it's
around
ridiculous
here won't
because
do
the
us any
temple
good.
slash the church is most likely where Sindel was resurrected.
yeah. Here's the thing: you're about to see when we start fighting in the church that there are shadow priests raising zombies in the fighting version of this area
So much for standing
because the church is evil. So here's what I would have done: you use the church for bad guy stuff, and you use Jade's desert for Nightwolf's reservation, instead of Sindel being raised in the desert. See, look at this guy, but this fucking evil...
That guy in the back is a necromancer raising a goddamn dead body. I am
Where were
going
these-
insane.
Where were these guys during the cutscene? Look at them back there. Look at this meat on the altar.
Delicious meat.
Aside from all that, I do like the way the stage looks, and I love the stage music too.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
and
the
it
way
sounds good.
the way they remade the church aesthetically is pretty good. Like, it's still pretty close to the MK3 version. It has all the elements you'd like to see.
It is still dusk, but it's nice in this instance.
I like how it turned out. I like the priest raising the zombies back there. I just wish that story-wise that meant
Suck.
anything. That this was where they raised Sindel. Just switch the church and the desert narratively. Just Nightwolf and the guys
No.
hang out here, and Sindel was raised there, and everything will make more sense.
No.
Apparently not.
We are not in the business of making sense, are we? Go, Smoke. You can do it. You can't do it.
Should Nightwolf be able to beat Cyrax?
Guys,
Sure, why not?
I think Nightwolf is like the second most powerful hero, theoretically. Cause like in the old time, like MK3 had this sort of vibe of like, Raiden, I can't be there. Trust this guy to lead you in my stead, and that's what Nightwolf was. He was like the replacement for Raiden in Vanilla 3.
Yeah, with Raiden MIA, Nightwolf is that secondary source of wisdom and guidance.
Yeah, that's like why Nightwolf is trusted to be like why his reservation is the meeting place, is because his magic is powerful enough to keep them safe.
Yeah, in Striker's ending, Raiden sends a vision to Striker to guide him to Nightwolf.
So yeah, I get the impression that like if there was a tier list for MK3 characters, the good guys goes Liu Kang, then Raiden, then Nightwolf, or maybe Raiden, then Liu Kang, then Nightwolf.
Sucking it.
This timeline would have you believe Raiden is way above Liu Kang, but personally, I've always seen it the other way.
The logical conclusion of the arc is that the student surpasses the master.
It's honestly a lot cooler if it's that way.
Yeah, the whole thing of like the human potential is like, well, then shouldn't a human be the main character? Shouldn't he be the most powerful?
Haha,
Like,
pop your kneecaps.
Because there's even a like Raiden competed in the MK1 and 2 tournaments, and he clearly didn't win. Raiden in Trilogy decides to take on a mortal form and fight, even though the Elder Gods told him not to. And yet he's not the one who beat Shao Kahn. Liu Kang is. So clearly, Liu is more powerful than Raiden.
Alright, time to go down the spiral.
But that's
What is it?
the whole NRS era is like, fuck humans, we're gonna have gods be the main character every game. Except for Cassie Cage. And now this is happening.
Sector goes,
By the way, the reason the bad guys found their hideout is because they had Cyber Sub with them.
If you dare, I will
yeah.
finish what the Lin Kuei
So-
could not.
So it's not bad enough that we have to turn Kuai Liang into a robot, we also have to make him the reason everybody dies.
and everybody dies now.
Well, not these two. They somehow get lucky. Look at all those hits Johnny just took.
Dead.
Johnny just took like 5 hits. Now watch how many Cyber Sub takes.
And dead.
Dead.
Somehow dead.
Dead
That's
from an
Very
uppercut.
dead.
He wasn't even struck in a vital organ.
And the
it
guy
was
who
just
can
an
teleport
uppercut.
Oh, this one breaks my
Gets his
heart.
neck snapped.
He gets
Yeah.
it the worst.
No, I think Jade here does.
Yeah, Jade gets the worst.
I don't know. You could survive this.
What's this?
But
Ah,
she
you don't need
doesn't. It's just liver, maybe? Pick it random on the chart. Spleen.
Let's drag this out. Right now.
Jade died of a spleenectomy.
Let's invert these two characters' heartfelt reunion from MK3 and make it something bitter and painful to watch. I used to like Sindel. I really did. And this game started the spiral down.
I have never liked Sindel.
I used to.
So this timeline keeps making it worse, man.
I've always wondered why the cemetery is called St. Dominic's Graveyard.
Gee, I wonder.
I am convinced this and her 11 retcon came from the same fucking place.
You know, in the old timeline, Kitana talked her out of being mind controlled.
Yeah, it was nice, it was heartfelt, it was a big part of the MK3 storyline. It's something that Annihilation, for all its problems, tried to get right. And this game doesn't even fucking bother. Shock value, ladies and gentlemen. That's good fucking writing, isn't it? Shit makes me sick every time I see it.
Monster.
And we're really set out to make this game a downer. And by the way, this is the first time a Soul Steel has ever not been green. And that really pisses me off. Oh, Sindel's powers are purple, so it should be purple. No, souls are green!
Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second.
Okay.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Just taking a moment here to pause and collect myself. Now that we're here and I'm catching my breath, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. When I first installed this game and played through it, just to unlock Quan Chi and Cybersub, and went through story. I started playing around like 7 or so p.m. to roughly, I don't know, midnight or something. And when I went to bed, I was so angry that I couldn't sleep till 5 a.m. I just lied in my bed, thinking about how much I hated this entire fucking part of MK9's story for 5 hours. We started playing this around 7. I think I'm in for another sleepless night.
I would like to talk about the destruction of Kitana's character, if I may.
By all means, pile the
So we
shit
talked
on.
in the MK1 episode about how Liu Kang in this story has been taken from like the pacifist who is destined to save the world but is sort of reluctant to do it, like he knows the burden and he doesn't necessarily want to carry it, but he'll do it anyway because nobody else can. And in this game, he's a sneering, bitter, judgmental, religious zealot who, over the course of watching Raiden lose his fucking mind, becomes like an edgelord teenaged atheist in response. So yeah.
Hooray.
Clearly somebody on the team does not like Liu Kang. But Kitana went from the main female character, who everything she did in MK2 and 3 was through her own agency. She found the evidence that Shao Kahn wasn't her father and started, like, working in the background to betray him. It was her idea to meet with the heroes and give Liu Kang intel during MK2. In MK3, she kills Melina, is arrested, and escapes on her own.
Where are you?
And, evades capture to make it to the other heroes and join forces with them,
Elder gods,
and is ultimately the one responsible for freeing Sindel from mind control, which ensures that when Liu beats Kahn and frees Earthrealm, Edenia gets freed as well. All that was Kitana's doing, her own agency. She was the main character of her own story. In this game, her first appearance has her being infantilized by her love interest. She loses every fight she has. She gets captured and has to be rescued as a damsel in distress.
It is regrettable.
Basically, she fails at every single thing she's trying to do and loses every fight she has, except the ones in her own chapter that don't actually matter to the narrative.
Please,
like,
you must.
We have spoken.
Whoever doesn't like Liu doesn't like her either. To the point that she fucking... The mother that she's supposed to talk out of mind control, she has the talk, and it fails, and she gets the shit beat out of her by her own mom. She gets murdered by her own mom.
I'm really glad I got all my hatred of that prior scene out at the start of all this. The tournament doesn't prevent invasions.
And speaking of getting murdered by your own mom, it's not done quite yet.
Victory is mine, shaman.
If I...
At least this upcoming scene looks kind of cool, with the melting skeletons.
So, a thought I want to put out there for consideration. Nightwolf is going to die here, and the next time we see him, he's a revenant in the Netherrealm. The old timeline specifically said in Deception that Nightwolf is too good and pure to go to the Netherrealm unless he absorbs the sins of other people through a Native American ritual. Which raises the question, if he can go to hell in this timeline, does that mean that suicide is a sin to the Elder Gods?
You were right.
Is it Christianity rules?
That's a good and uncomfortable question.
How else does he end up in the Netherrealm? It shouldn't be possible.
Oh, they talk about that.
Katana.
They say that Shao Kahn took possession of their souls and then gave them to Quan Chi as a gift.
Right.
Which is a problem.
Yeah, Shao Kahn.
There was originally a line in MK3's Attract mode that said, although your souls are protected from Shao Kahn's evil, your lives are not. And that was the original angle.
So there's two things there. The first is that their souls were protected because Shao Kahn's Soulnado happened. Since Nightwolf destroyed the Soulnado and prevented that, the Elder Gods never gave that protection to the heroes.
Yes, that's
so
fair.
Their souls can be stolen. The problem is, this game is also telling us Shao Kahn hasn't merged the realms yet. He's not currently in Earthrealm. He's not in this room, so how did he steal those souls? How did he get them? How did he give them to Quan Chi? How did he get them?
See, I don't know about you, but I always read it that Raiden saw that Shao Kahn was making a Soulnado, and that's when he cast the protection on those warriors' souls. That's how it should have happened, and there was still room to do it that way.
But that doesn't happen in this story. He never has a reason to protect their souls.
Fucking sadly.
But Khan's not here to steal them, so how did he steal them?
Maybe he was standing off screen or something. I don't fucking know.
So the other thing is that if you, by the rules of the old timeline, if you try to take a soul that's too pure to the Netherrealm, the Netherrealm will shoot it out through a portal. It'll kick you out the way it kicked out Ashra when she purified herself in Deception. It'll boot you if you don't belong. So Nightwolf should not be able to be a Revenant. He should be booted the moment Quan Chi tries.
Yeah, I missed that too. I remember that. But guess what? This game doesn't give a shit about what came before.
Yeah.
Doesn't care about what came prior at all.
So Katana just slowly died of a partial soul steal, which has never killed anyone before. And Raiden forgot he could heal.
Fucking whoops.
Like, they had a long goodbye speech. He had last words. He could have been fucking doing it then.
I need to be drunker than I am right now to cope with this.
We all need to be drunker.
Is there anything nice here we can talk about?
I like the Scorpion costume a lot better than the primary.
Oh, yeah, that's great. This is a good one.
I think the insect stuff on the mask is a little much. But at least the fact that his V is segmented and his clothes are actual clothing and not some kind of H.R. Geiger leather overlaps. Like, it looks kind of MK3-ish. Like, the segments are sort of their version of the squares.
It is absolutely one of this game's better costumes. Completely agree.
I wish he was wearing it all the time, because he looks more like a ninja instead of some kind of, gross black oil monster with too many bug decorations on him.
Covered in scorpions.
You know, Scorpion never even wore scorpion-shaped decorations in the entire old timeline, except for on his gauntlets in Deadly Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that better. Like, you don't need to be so fucking on the nose. He doesn't need to dress like a superhero. I'm the Scorpion, so I'm covered in scorpions. Fuck off! Dress like a ninja, for God's sake.
Once upon a time, we were really good at that kind of thing.
Yeah, right? Also, I guess Cerberus exists in the Mortal Kombat universe.
Yeah, he's right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I am doing extremely poorly here.
I'm surprised. This isn't even an endurance match. You're gonna have some real trouble when they start having you fight Revenants 3-on-1.
Raiden may not be my best character.
Are you practiced enough with Raiden? Because this is the guy you're gonna have to fight Shao Kahn with soon.
It's honestly not too bad. It's just a game of jumping over him as he get up attacks. I don't think it should be too much of a problem.
I've always hated the second Shao Kahn fight because you have to do it with Raiden, and Raiden's moveset is much worse than lose in this game. Like, his projectiles are slower. He does have the EX where you can hit him from the two directions. But you need meter for that. It's much more tedious to fight him than when you were Liu Kang.
There we go. Oh, ye of little faith.
If I remember right, Shao Kahn's AI at the end of story mode is worse than the latter.
Sounds about right.
Could be the case.
Alright, time for things to get extra shitty.
Oh my god, it was Quan Chi the whole time! Holy fuck!
Why did he teleport into the same spot? That's
Earthrealm and the Netherrealm.
I hate everything that is about to happen.
We will prevail, but with the Netherrealm.
Ew, I don't like his face.
So I have a so Quan Chi was fighting against them half a chapter ago.
Have mere hours.
Like, the chapter before this was Nightwolf, and Nightwolf fights Quan Chi.
What do you offer?
So why would Raiden be like, maybe I need to get Quan Chi on my side, when they were just... He knows he's working for
Offer
Khan.
the souls of Earthrealm warriors who die in this conflict.
And there it is!
If we could...
They would agree.
If we could pause during cutscenes, that would be a good time to pause. Because I know you have some things to say about that line.
Oh, do I fucking ever.
You know that Shinnok is worse than Khan!
Oh, noble Raiden.
You know what's gonna happen right after you beat him if you give him all those soldiers.
Utterly pointless.
This is some of the worst bit of character assassination I've ever seen in a video game. Raiden didn't deserve this.
You see,
I want
Why
you
is
to...
Sindel there?
are already mine. Shao Kahn's payment.
Why
for
aren't
Netherrealm's
Shang and Motaro there?
No,
Too many
this
legs.
was
'Cause
not
they
meant to
suck.
be. Earthrealm has lost
Yeah.
Raiden.
I want you to pay attention to the costumes. Because right now they're all wearing the ones they died in. But when the fight starts, some of them change clothes.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. You watch, you'll see. I believe it's Stryker and Kung Lao are in different outfits when you're fighting them than they are in the cutscene.
Oh boy.
So this is a 3-on-1, and you do it like 3 times.
It's twice. There's a few of them that you don't fight.
You might be right. I think, like, there's 9 Revenants, and you don't fight some of them for some reason.
Jade, Smoke, and I forget who else. That's one round.
Hey, you remember how in every single game when Shang Tsung dies, all of his souls escape out of his body and fly away?
Yep.
And you know how Sindel was given all of Shang Tsung's souls when she was empowered? Yeah, see, Stryker's wearing the primary. He's got the SWAT armor in the
Oh,
cutscene.
yes. Look at that shit.
Yeah, they fucked up.
Sure did.
So anyway, how come when Sindel died, all of the stolen souls didn't fly away on screen?
'Cause
A wizard did it.
Did
this game comes out next week, Razor. We can't do that.
There's no time, man. Who does Kenshi need to get his ancestors back from at the end of this? Where did they go? Who has them? Were they set free, or does Quan Chi have them now?
Me. I have them.
Dear God, man.
I believe MKX.
Why did you do it?
I believe MKX would have us believe that the souls were indeed set free when Sindel died, because he's not they're in the sword. He's not trying to rescue them in it.
So close. Want some more with less suck. Or I can just keep on dropping combos. That works too.
You know what's nice is that when Raiden does his tackle, he makes the noise.
This is the last time that happened, I think.
It might have been in X?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it was an X.
I don't think it was an X. It's definitely not in 11 or 12.
Remember when Johnny bought a car?
I miss Johnny buying a car.
Wait, maybe it was an X, because I remember when Shinnok does it, he doesn't do gibberish.
Well, either way, I miss when
think
Johnny bought the car.
I think you might be thinking of Liu Kang with the bike kick in X.
I'm not as married to Liu's noises. As long as he has some Bruce Lee stuff, I'm good. Actually, there's a mechanic in X that I really like, where alive Liu's skins make the Bruce Lee noise. Revenant Liu skins don't make the noises.
Oh, I never noticed that. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the last time they do anything that cool. Like specific intros for specific skins, specific voices for specific skins. Never again. Except for like the guests, like if you play as Lambert Raiden in 11, it's Lambert's voice doing all the grunts and stuff.
How did that happen?
But all of the intros are the same words, whereas in X, Revenants will say different stuff in intros that's specific to being a Revenant that the alive ones don't say. Like they have evil personalities in their dialogue. And they just they introduced a cool mechanic, and then they started going backwards. Like,
we're done here.
The appeal of sequels is they're supposed to have more stuff and build on what the previous game had. But starting from the X-Bone console generation on, all franchises just started having sequels that were worse than the game before.
Kitana, Nightwolf, Kung Lao.
You sealed our fate in this place, Thunder God. You have condemned us all.
All right, we're not done here.
Cover up. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is
a little bit, huh?
Really skirting the line.
Oh, this game definitely had a thing about TNA, and it was not subtle about it. Go look at Scarlet's ending.
Yeah. I mean, I like a reasonable amount of sex positivity and flashy outfit, but I don't need the battle damage showing me everything but the nipple. That's way too much.
Yeah.
There are other things we should be shitting on instead. Like, how fucking arrogant does Raiden have to be to sell the souls of his dead warriors and then to say, oh, they would approve?
Yeah, that's the thing we should be talking about. Is he just tried to sell his own warriors to the devil. And he said they would agree. You don't know that. You can't speak
what
for
the
them,
fuck?
you asshole. Like,
I feel like Jax alone would probably say, fucking no, for a start.
You want me to spend eternity in the bad afterlife so that we can win in a single afternoon?
Oh yeah, look at that. Kung Lao's in the primary.
Yeah.
Which, hey, wait a minute. By the way, why does he get Kung Lao's soul? He died in 2.
Well, Shao Kahn was actually there. Kung Lao's the only soul down here that makes sense, because he died in a room Shao Kahn was in.
See, the terms of this arrangement are intentionally very unclear on that. We mean MK 1 through 3 when we say the warriors that died in this conflict.
Died in this conflict? I assume that just meant during 3.
Well, people who died during 2 got their souls stolen by Kahn. I'm willing to accept that. Like, that doesn't need to be part of the same arrangement that we're talking about here.
Cannot allow it.
Let me be a fucking...
Your world is
Pedantic?
Let me be an annoying nitpicker. Come on.
I'm just saying.
You can do it. I want to do it.
I nitpick things that actually don't make sense. Kung Lao having a soul stolen, I can buy. Everybody else is the problem. Everybody the fuck else.
Okay, but you know what? I feel like it's fair to say that I didn't see Kung Lao's soul go into Shao Kahn's hand.
Yeah, you know what? That is the problem. Like, we didn't see a green glow get sucked out of Kung Lao into Shao Kahn. Just like we don't see any green glows when everybody dies to Sindel in the church. There's nobody there to take the green glow. How did they get...
To the rooftop?
But yes, Raiden just tried to sell his friends to the devil. He tried to decide their eternal afterlives for them, so that he could win one fight. And he tried to sell them to somebody who he already knows is working for the bad guy.
It's some pretty reprehensible behavior.
It is, in fact, the Dark Raiden has never done anything that evil. Dark Raiden has never done anything as evil as Raiden just tried to do in the Netherrealm there.
I'm not even fucking paying attention anymore, man. I'm just hearing Peanut's parents.
No, do as I say.
Wah 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 wah.
The elder gods.
Wah 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 wah.
Have faith in you? No, you're the bad guy now. The most frustrating thing is that in this moment, I agree with Liu Kang, and the developers intend him to be the one who's wrong.
Both of these people come off looking like assholes.
They did the same shit with Scorpion killing Quan Chi in X, where they're like, he shouldn't have done that, because now we can't save the Revenants. It was the only way. It was not the only way. We see in many games there are other ways to bring someone back from the dead, or to purge fucking evil mind control that Quan Chi put on them. But the narrative tries to force you, it tries to dictate to you who is morally right and morally wrong, and morals are a fucking subjective choice, and I don't appreciate being told what to think.
You know those people who say that story doesn't matter in a fighting game? I think the thing that I hate most about this game is that it makes an argument for them.
If story doesn't matter in a fighting game, then why did Deadly Alliance Deception and Armageddon sell so well? Because it wasn't for the gameplay.
Yep. People were playing for a story and the blood and guts. And they did pretty well.
People forget that the 3D era sold better than Tekken 5 because of the single-player content, because people at that time were following MK for the story, even though it sucked to play. Although it has its moments, it's not completely bad.
I'll still go through it. Any day.
There are fun things about the 3D era. When we were playing, Deception and Armageddon, I had a good time. That's because I'm used to it. There are lots of people who would say it's bad. But there's a reason that people are still to this day wishing we'd get another Conquest mode.
You know, the term Blunder God didn't exist before this game came out. And here's another reason it does.
Now...
Oh no. Crispy!
He reacts like he did it by accident, like he didn't mean to kill him. He's the god of thunder.
I am making myself dumber by watching this!
What did you do?
The god of lightning doesn't know how much lightning will kill a person.
Wait a minute.
Also, he could heal him right now.
Yeah, the story forgot that he had that ability, didn't he? Oh well.
No, I'm just gonna let him die. It makes me sad, but also, he's been in my way. He's been a thorn in my side. I'm just gonna let this happen.
There's a word that describes the story, and I'll say it later.
This is not a blunder. This is deliberate selfishness.
Come on.
Wait a minute.
Sure it is. You two are gonna do great. And they're out.
I'm still thinking about the Sindel Ward thing. So like, what the fuck? What did that stop again?
Instead of the Elder Gods putting a force field around Earth so Khan can't portal there until he wins the tournament, Sindel put the force field around Earth, so Khan can't use portals.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking groveling. I don't care that he's supposed to have a plan. I should never be seeing Raiden like this.
So what makes what Shao Kahn is doing right now different? Like, wait,
So here's the thing. The Elder God said we won't get involved until the realms are being merged, because that's when Khan is breaking the rules. He hasn't broken any rules yet. But that scene happens after fighting in the graveyard, and you can see in the graveyard that the city skyline already has outworld buildings in it.
But
the merger has clearly been underway for some time. But apparently the script says it doesn't count as a merger until after Khan walks in through the portal.
I know you can feel it. It is the end of all.
It certainly is.
That does wait. But that's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, like, they're not doing anything right now.
Give it a minute.
They're establishing that history repeats itself.
Ain't that
fucking
the Elder Gods are waiting for this dramatic dialogue to be finished. And they'll make their fucking appearance.
Dracula flow ass cow.
It's okay. We're almost done.
Now, Raiden, your world ends.
Now the Elder Gods will get involved, because it's not the right time until after the fancy speech, you see. We have to contrive the chance for them to say the same words they said at the beginning.
But
yes.
Also, the Elder Gods aren't actually just, spanking Shao Kahn. They're still gonna make Raiden fight him first.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why didn't they just shoot a laser from the sky and disintegrate him?
This makes no fucking sense.
Well, apparently it wouldn't have worked. I guess we'll
They
have to
suck.
We'll have to beat him up. We'll have to lower his HP for this spell to work.
why can Shao Kahn doesn't even have a bunch of souls? What the fuck? He should have been obliterated.
Yeah, this game doesn't understand why MK3 works. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Shao Kahn stole all of Earthrealm's souls in the original MK3, so he had a buff. He was stronger in 3 than he was in 2. This Shao Kahn is the same power level that he was at the end of MK2. He hasn't gotten any buffs.
Yeah, the game forgets that Shao Kahn ate billions of people, and that is why the Elder Gods should be having trouble stopping him.
Also, remember when the rooftop was like a night scene and the fortress was in the back and it had a sick-ass portal floating over above it?
No, that's stupid. This is better.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I miss it too. Shit.
Here's your portal stage, Razor.
Yeah, I guess. I miss the real rooftop. But the real rooftop is my favorite fucking MK3 stage, and this is... No fortress, no portal. At least not the red sky one. There's a blue sideways one over there. Fuck that. It's... Everything is orange. Boy, don't you guys just love the color orange? Because this game loves the color orange.
Damn it, shit. Oh, what the? Oh, stop. Oh, for Christ.
Remember how there used to be a stage called...
He's doing the fucking 1-2 a bunch.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going real well.
You guys remember how there used to be a stage called The Bank? And the bank was going to have a crashed helicopter in it, but they didn't make it in. It's like in the crypt art.
Yeah, the bank always did kind of suck. Just a little bit.
Well, we've got our crashed helicopter, I guess. Because that's worth losing the nighttime sky
shouldn't his lightning be all yellow and gold right now?
Yeah, because he's supposed to have that fucking Elder God energy that he has in the cutscenes. It should be yellow.
Ah, fuck.
Like Raiden has a buff. Shao Kahn doesn't.
So close.
But Raiden is supposed to.
So wait a minute. So the ward.
Oh my god! We spent the entire fucking opening of this fucking goddamn piece of shit story mode. Stop shitposting.
I'm not.
He doesn't understand the concept of Sindel's ward.
It's not supposed to make sense. It's something that they put in there to give Sindel something to do. It's nonsense like everything in the MK3 section of the story mode.
It's only in there because Dom really doesn't like suicide. It's just to make Sindel's fucking death look like a heroic sacrifice, which the narrative is worse off for having because it makes less sense than it did before.
And now we're finally fucking done.
That's the only reason it's there. It's because Dom... And he did it again in 11. And you'll notice that when she dies in 12, it's not a suicide. She's murdered by some alternate version of herself. Dom Giancholo cannot stand the fact that Sindel killed herself. It's the thing that he cannot have in a game. He's got to retcon it every single game he writes. And if you don't like Mortal Kombat the way it was, then I don't think you were fit to write it.
I apologize for my yelling at you, Smokeman, but this game does things to me.
It's about time, quite frankly. I got all the yelling and screaming in the last episode. I'm glad that we got some out of you. Now it's fair and balanced.
But you know what the word I mentioned was? Cynical. It's a really cynical story.
Yeah.
It just destroys everything that was good about MK3. The plot, the aesthetics, the characters, the backgrounds. In favor of fucking nonsense. Contrivances and shock value. This is the worst piece of shit story that Mortal Kombat ever pumped out. God's fucking sake, even when MK11 was tripping over itself and failing, it was at least trying to do something new. Rather than fucking erasing all the good things that came before it. Like this cynical shit.
But only the gravest.
Yeah, we have to wring our hands and say at what cost. We can't have a nice ending.
So, the "he must win" phrase, of which much has already been said, and there's very little we can add to it.
Their light has sunk into the earth.
Yeah?
I am responsible.
If he had...
Did what you had to
if he had figured out who the "he who must win" was supposed to be in MK1 and let Shao Kahn win, then Shao Kahn would have won the tournament and invaded legally, and it wouldn't have worked. If he had figured out during Mortal Kombat 2, same thing. So Dark Raiden sent himself a message knowing it needs to be confusing so that it takes him 3 games to figure it out.
Everyone's an idiot in this game. Shao Kahn, Raiden.
And he just came up with that shit on the spot. You know what always got me is the fact that the message is coming from Dark Raiden, and Dark Raiden is an evil character. Shouldn't the message have been fucked up on purpose? Like, shouldn't it have been twisted to make things go wrong or something? Like, what does Dark Raiden want the timeline to look like? We need to consider his motivations when he's sending the message.
But they didn't, because Raiden is Raiden. We don't know what he was doing during Armageddon. We forgot. Anyway, this is happening now.
So much has been said about people theorizing 13 years ago that this scene was supposed to imply Shinnok also had knowledge of the future, and that's obviously not true if you look at, like, where the sequels went. To me, that's... If you interpret that scene that way, it means you're not very familiar with Trilogy. Because Shinnok wanting Shao Kahn to die so that he'd be out of the way and the Netherrealm could take a turn at trying to take over the Earth is already a plot point that exists in the backstories of Noob Saibot and Melina in the original MK trilogy. That scene was just making it more obvious in this timeline. You know, making sure that the audience knew what was going on.
They're responsible for the entire Sindel plotline in this version of the game, putting the ideas in Shao Kahn's head. That's what they're up to.
Yeah.
No time travel hijinks.
They made it more obvious that 3 had, the Brotherhood of the Shadow working in the background to undermine Kahn. They made it more of a thing, but it was a thing in MK3.
Yep. They were always involved with the Sindel plot to some degree, going back to mythologies. Shang and Shao don't resurrect Sindel on their own. They enlist Shinnok and Quan Chi's help to actually be able to corrupt her soul.
Yeah, well, so the exact situation is that, because like I said, Outworlders don't know how to raise the dead. That's a Netherrealm thing. They had to get the knowledge and spells to raise the dead were given to the Shadow Priests by Quan Chi. And also, the mind control spell that makes Sindel evil. Quan and Shinnok were handed Sindel's soul to taint it with evil. Which they did because you absorb evil energies while you're in the Netherrealm. The longer you spend there, the more tainted you become. And in return for doing all these favors, Shang Tsung told Quan Chi where to find Shinnok's amulet, because the Shaolin knew, and he got that information when he stole Great Kung Lao's soul. That was all established back in MK mythologies. So it was always a thing that the Netherrealm was involved in 3, and it's also a thing that they didn't want Khan to win. If he got close, they were going to have Noob and Melina, who had been raised from the dead after Katana killed her. She was actually a mole for the Brotherhood because, again, nobody in Outworld can raise the dead. That's a Netherrealm thing. The only reason Melina is alive in UMK3 is because Shinnok allowed it. And Shinnok allowed it because he's like, we'll tell Khan you work for him, but really you work for me. And if he's going to win, you stab him in the back.
As a matter of fact, there's a really nebulous MK4 Noob Saibot bio out there that probably comes from old magazines that, who knows if John wrote it or Ed wrote it or what, but they say that in poorly worded English, Noob Saibot is ordered to side with the humans in MK4.
Yeah, that he actually helped Earthrealm win in the end.
Who knows?
I don't necessarily take that bio as canon because it's
from who knows
from
where.
A magazine or whatever. Yeah, it's very,
I don't know where it actually comes from or who's responsible for it.
Either some intern wrote it or somebody the magazine themselves made it up because they needed some kind of text, and they just took what's in his trilogy ending and turned it into a bio. But whoever typed it up had bad grammar, and it's not very well written.
Shao Kahn's minion.
But yeah, the whole idea was that Shinnok and Quan were always in the background of 3, planning to make sure Khan would lose because they want Earth for themselves. And this scene at the end of 9, to tell you that the sequel's going to have Shinnok as the bad guy, that's all it's there for. You're not supposed to think that they changed history, that they, like Raiden, knew what was going to happen. You're just supposed to get that we're taking something that was in MK3 and giving it bigger emphasis. That's all.
Yeah, having Shinnok and Quan be aware of future events is, yeah.
Because, if Shinnok knew the future, then how did he lose an MKX? That would have changed a lot more than that if I was him.
Well, we're through now with our odyssey of mental anguish, crushing pain, agony, and despair.
Oh, yeah.
Next time, we're going to actually have some fun with this game. Oh, look at that story by credit. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them all. Look at all those people.
Well, from the interviews we've gotten with guys like Chard, it sounds a lot like Vogel just sat at a desk and stamped approved when they were done writing it.
I really want to believe that.
He was the supervisor.
I really do want to believe that John Vogel had very little to do with this story. The idea breaks my heart.
From Vogel's interactions on Twitter with other people, I very much get the impression that ever since his daughter was born, he has sort of stepped back more and more from responsibilities with the company and is just sort of
off being a dad.
Doing whatever to spend more time with his family and less time working.
Go home and be a family man. Make the right choice.
Which, if I was the guy who wrote Deadly Alliance Deception and was forced to write Armageddon and basically was complicit in destroying all of the things I had created and enjoyed doing, I would also be checked out emotionally and not really giving my best work to the franchise from that point on either.
Well, we can only wonder.
I honestly, I cannot blame Vogel at all for being more hands-off. He already turned in his best work, and the company in the sequels shat on it, so...
This is why it's healthier to remember the good times.
He gave us some beautiful things, and I thank him for that.
Absolutely,
and
I'll always be grateful.
All of the rebooting and the retconning, that's not his fault. That's what his boss told him was going to happen.
Put the blue robot in. Do it now.
It is Chard's fault. It is Dominic's fault. Those guys get the blame.
Dominic.
Especially Dominic, because he's still there. Brian Chard had the good sense to leave.
All right. We're through the Rubicon now. Hopefully the people who have grown up with the Netherrealm games and find themselves befuddled by what MK12 has done to the narrative can maybe look back and find some connection with us. Because, hello. This is what this game did to us.
You know what the Netherrealm needs?
What's that?
It needs the River Lathe so I can dunk my head in and lose all memory of this fucking franchise.
Alright. We'll see you guys next time when we start to play through the Challenge Tower and start actually having fun with this game.
Yeah, here's the thing. Now that we've gotten all that out of our systems, we're actually going to play the parts of the game we enjoy. Challenge Tower next week. And if you want to see it a week early, patreon.com/Netherkast.
I plan to have a lot of fun with classic costume mods.
Like, comment, subscribe, donate.
Always.
If you enjoy our work and you want to see more of it, that's how you get more of it.
Smokeman, anything?
Huh? What?
No, he's done. He's checked out. Just like...
Nope, he's out. He's finished.
Just like John Vogel, he found a way out. And now it's time for us to find one too. See you later, nerds.
Have a nice day.
What?
Okay, I'm kind of worried.
Alright.
Someone get this man a doctor.
It cannot be. Shao Kahn is dead. Yet the future remains unchanged.
Why doesn't he, fuck up the body?
Yeah, why didn't he double tap while Kahn was down to make sure he stays dead?